What's up, guys? Today I want to talk about why long hair has been one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. Because long hair has improved my self-efficacy. And what is that? Self-efficacy is you believe you can accomplish or do something because you believe in your skills, your experiences, tangible things that you believe in that will get you your ideal result, right? So I knew I had the frame, I knew I had the genetics, the hair type to look good with longer hair and the family ancestry to look good, right? And why this is such a good decision, because you will have to face challenges, resistances that most men will never face in terms of like social norms and social things, social obstacles that most men will never face, right? When I grew out this long hair, I got so much resistance from my past, people from my past, getting used to going out in public. And when you get over this hump, your confidence grows because you've overcome this challenge. Especially when other people from your past like come try to make you conform to your past self. They're trying to bring you back to your old self, the inferior version of yourself, right? Because if you're changing, you're growing, you're getting better for the most part. And these people from your past will try to conform you, bring you down to your old level when you're trying to ascend. When you get past this stage, you're a new person, new level of confidence, new level of autonomy that you just never had before. And it's necessary to go through these things if you want to become the person you want to be, or the man you want to be in this case, right? And if you grew up your whole life having parents, right, they probably chose the haircut for you. As a man, most likely you had a short haircut. But is that truly what you want? Or is it something you've just been programmed to believe is normal? And I've always liked having short haircuts, but instinctively, I always felt bad leaving the barbershop because it never looked good to me. I'm like, I look worse now. I lost hair, I look worse. And when I grew out this hair, every time it gets longer, I feel happier, I feel better, I feel more empowered. And now, when you go through these 4 stages where, let's say you're at the bottom, people will help you and bring you up and be like, yeah, like get better. Like in this case, I had short hair and I didn't like it. People say, change it up, man. Like try a new hairstyle. And then you improve, right? And they're like, yeah, good job, man. But then you keep changing. They don't anticipate this change. It's not stopping. And then it becomes envy. They're like, man, you look better in the past. Or I think you should honestly cut your hair. Or they'll just bring up opinions about you when you don't expect it and when it's not warranted. And you're like, oh my gosh, like, oh, here we go again. But it's part of the process when you're evolving, when you're changing, when you're becoming better. And once you keep changing, if you don't stop, you escape their reality, and envy becomes into admiration, where they're like, I used to hang out with this person, or that was my coworker once, or I went to school with this guy. It always happens regardless of what you do. And I like to be brought challenges. To me, I like overcoming and dominating challenges because I become better overall. My brain becomes better. I become more confident because I have more ability to tackle the real world, to tackle this life. And the fact that I have longer hair, few men will ever have to, they will never experience what I experience because they're always going to be in the NPC short haircut realm, right? There's levels to this. You could have different haircuts and they're going to provide you different results, right? In the short hair NPC world. But there's a different realm where it's the longer hair realm. And you're going to overcome these challenges that most guys will never experience. So now, if you ever do go back to short hair, you're going to be like, I'm a master of both. I know how to carry myself with long hair. I know how to interact with people when I have long hair. And I also know how to interact with people when I have short hair. I know myself. That's the important thing. You get to know yourself better and what you really like, right? The part of being a better person and being the best version of you is knowing who you are. And you have to go through these decisions that will come with resistance. You will have to overcome them to be the best version of you, right? There's an alternate reality where I didn't go to college and just chose a wage slave job and chill, whatever. Repeat history. But I decided to go to college, had it all paid for. My parents never paid a dollar of college for me, and I live in America, right? I earned them. The business, my idea, I got the clients. My parents helped, of course, but a lot of the time I remember they're like, just get a job. Like, just work at this place, or, use your degree to get this, or get this degree to get that. Like, no, I'm choosing my own path. And it's been a positive result from it. Same thing with the long hair. People are going to resist at the start, but when they see the final product, they don't see what you see while you're changing. They only see the final product. So you got to stick through it. Once they get to the final product, everyone jumps on the bandwagon. And you're like, oh my gosh. And you're like, I knew it. And you become more you believe more in yourself, because now that you know the process of how people treat you, how the world, the feedback that you get while you're going through this process. Once you go through this a few times, it's like, okay, I know what to expect. By default, you just know the process and you believe in who you are and your abilities. That's the important part of growing out your hair. And also, guys, I think it's important to create your own character. So to be the best version of yourself, you have to create the person you want to show the world, the one that you believe in, the one you feel most happy in, right? You're never going to be happy if you always have prison clothes and you're locked up in prison, because you're a prisoner. You're not who you really are, right? But in the real world, some people are still in a prison, right? Where they don't change because of the certain people that are in their life. So they're in this imaginary prison. And the most successful people, the most authentic people, the most happy people are the people who are not constrained by these limitations. And that's why these people are memorable. They're happier. They're more valuable in a way, because they are really them. They've gone through this process multiple times. And growing longer hair is a way to be introduced to this process of overcoming the resistance and being a step closer to who you really want to be, right? And also, now I'm gonna drift to a different direction. When it comes to attracting a partner or anything like that, the reason why most guys on the internet feel like life is over, it's because they're a slave. They're an NPC. There's nothing unique about them, because they don't know who they really are, or they can't be who they really want to be because they're afraid to go through this process of resistance and rejection. And that's why I'm like, when I read these comments, I'm like, bro, I do not want to be around you. You can stay in the slave realm, the loser realm. I'm ascending, right? And let me tell you this. Growing out your hair is always an advantage, because the more hair you have, the more ways you can create a new character to leverage your assets to improve yourself, right? Let's say there's a girl you really want and she's looking for a man, a husband, and she's only limited to 10 options of the guys in your city, and you're one of them. If all of you look the same, basically 10 NPCs, short haircut, all have a 9-to-5 job, similar build, similar race, right? Well, she's going to choose the objective, superior human being, the one who has more of a stat, like more height, more muscle, more bone development, more intelligence. Like these things that you can measure, that the more you have usually means the better, right? But let's make a specific example. If she's choosing between you and this other guy who looks like you, but he has more height, more muscle, more money in this case, something like that, you're always going to lose, because you're trying to copy this archetype that somebody else has, and they have a superior version of it, right? It's the big apple and the little apple. When you grow out your hair, you escape that constraint, because now you can become something different. You can become a banana, or a orange, or a pomegranate, right? You become something so different. So now this woman or employer or whoever it is who has to choose between you and somebody else, you will never be chosen over because you're inferior. It's just because it's different. Or they choose you because you're different in a good way. Here's a good example, right? Let's say I'm going to use Austin Dunham. If you don't know who Austin Dunham is, he's one of the OG calisthenic YouTubers and, one of my favorite YouTubers of all time. I don't watch him anymore like that, but this is an example to use. He's an African-American, short hair. really good eyebrows, really good muscle build, has tattoos, right? And I know his body, good looking face. The last thing I'm gonna do is try to copy Austin Dunham to get the girl that Austin Dunham has, right? Because I'm never gonna be the original, the natural archetype, the original copy, right? Original number one. I'm just gonna look like a fool or look like an inferior version trying to copy Austin Dunham, like getting a short haircut, trying to get really tan to look black, getting tattoos on my arms, right? It's silly, right? First of all, the way to actually compete with somebody else who has superior stats than you in certain areas is to become so different where you offer a different package. You are a different benefit. Apples and oranges. You don't want to be apple and apple. You want to be apples and oranges, right? The girl who is attracted to Austin Dunham might be equally attracted or more attracted to me if I present something new to the market that she never knew she liked, right? Sometimes, guys, we don't know what we like until somebody creates it, right? Who knew that we would like watching streamers or eating primal or doing these activities like the gym if somebody hadn't created it? We didn't know we wanted it. We didn't know we liked it until it was presented to us. So let's say this girl likes Austin Dunham because he's like a black Chad. I'm not going to try to be a black Chad or even remotely close to him. I'm going to do the opposite or be so different where I present a different package that she's like, wow, I didn't know I liked that and I like it more, right? I'm going to present myself. If he has short hair, African-American short hair, I'm not going to copy that. I'm going to grow out my long Native American hair, right? He's black. I'm going to get my nice Native American natural tan, have the contrast between the black and the white skin, right? He has really good eyebrows. Well, shit, honestly, having better eyebrows is objectively better, so I might fill him in, right? He has never had jaw surgery. I'm going to have jaw surgery. He doesn't have a strong chin. I'm going to have a strong chin, right? He has tattoos. I'm not going to get tattoos. I'm not going to get the same tattoo placements. I'm going to stay tattooless. He might be taller. Well, if somebody's taller, be wider. Be wider than them. Be so different where you offer a different package. And this applies to business too. I'm not going to copy the lawn care company across the street with the same advertising or the same truck setup. When people see our lawn care companies, they're going to see like, oh, this guy has this type of lawnmower, this type of machine, and this type of truck. Like, you're distinguishable. You have different advertising that people are like, oh, one day I'll choose this guy and one day I'll choose that guy, right? And in the real world, when you're in a bigger city, it's harder to be more unique. So you got to do everything in your advantage to be so unique that people will like you for who you are, right? That's why most guys are unhappy, because they know, especially if you live in a bigger city, a lot of you are NPCs. So you're like, I'm not unique. I don't have anything special about me. I've never gone through these challenges and obstacles that allow me to find who I am. That's why so many internet fools are fucking slaves and sad, because they've never done something for themselves to become the best version of themselves, right? And that's why I love having longer hair, because having longer hair is one of the examples that allows you to go through this process. Starting a business and growing longer hair, going to college, going to the military, these are all going to come with resistance from family and peers in different ways. And when you overcome all these things, you will gain experience, you will gain abilities that they don't have, that you have, and it improves your self-efficacy because you have these skills and you overcame these challenges, and it allows you to find the best version of you. So, I mean, I'm doing so many things that most people have not done for me. I mean, or haven't done. Like I've started business, I grew out my hair, went to college, got my college paid for. Shit, I might join the military just to gain the military experience, because it'd be so unique. I'd have all these skills, right? It's kind of cool. Probably not, because, I already have a family member in the military, so I already know what it's kind of like, so no need to. In general, guys, just grow out your hair. You're going to be able to bring more options to your character and find out who you really are, and overall, it's a great experience. I really recommend it. I'm so happy that I have my longer hair, because it's a physical representation, a real thing you can see of my evolution, me changing. That's why I like having longer hair, and it can't be replicated. It can't keep you know, you can't copy it, right? I can copy a dude's tattoo in under an hour if I go to the same tattoo artist. Dudes are not going to put on wigs to copy other dudes' long hair. That would be the cringiest thing ever. It's unnatural. It would never work. Hell no, right? So this is earned patience. So much experience through this strand of hair. When I started Marpy, this hair right here was probably like 1 centimeter long. It represents so much experience, so much XP and confidence I've gained throughout this whole process. I'm blessed. So make decisions for you that will present these challenges, and you will overcome them, and you will be able to be a step closer to the best version of yourself. And that's really it, guys. That's why I like having longer hair, because it's a free version. It's a free way to be introduced to these to this process of being at the bottom, being people being happy for you to get a certain level, dealing with the envy or resistance from people, which is the most important part to overcome this process, right? This is like the resistance, right? It's the stress. It's like the stress of the muscle to change. And then you reach the peak where it's admiration. So, yeah, guys, grow out your long hair. I love having longer hair. It's awesome.